up the way that you guys would like, in a sense. Oh no. Oh no. There you guys go. I think it's there. There you go. 3v3 already underway. As we get right into our round, Lowrider, Vic, Creed, the last three remaining after SKDC made their way on site, mostly in a heaven drop, mostly in a waterfall, with two people playing up on site. But in comes the actual hold down. Creed is able to get one, but watch out for Sensu. Sensu trying to go nuts, but now it's the veteran Ocean in a 1v2 coming up from above. Does have the bomb in his sights. The bomb is starting to get defused, but the smoke goes down. There's still Creed from under. I don't really know if there's a kit laying around, but it doesn't matter. Creed is still going to go for it. He gets the defuse kit, but he's still trying to get the kill into Ocean, and there's not going to be enough time for Creed to win the round. Instead, SKDC with a wild start. Man, oh man. Also, ladies and gentlemen, we have top class producing coming in for myself. I say that with a chuckle because it's certainly not top class, but you certainly do have some top class observing, of course, provided by the good old Flippy Bits, who's back behind the board, behind the buttons. And we're playing Train at the moment, as this was actually supposed to be the third pick of yesterday's best of three between GGPR and Kinship, but instead we're seeing it on map number 1 picked out by SKDC, and in we go already in the round with Exotic with quite a bit of damage, but Kiki able to get the kill back, and Semphis too with a wild one onto Creed, and now it should just be about easy. These pistols trying to make their way back in. At least one of them takes a kill back. It's actually going to be Jorge. Still very much a tall task. These two players, the best thing that they can do at this point is try to get some exit frags, because the full buy from SKDC, quite apparent. 2 AKs remaining. Even a Mac 10 laying around. Hello, Vic. Could easily get this kill back, but oh, Yu-Gi-Oh! Is a little bit slippery. Hey, what's up, gamers? I see you guys in chat. I see Evan, Hamtaro, Cloudy. What's up, guys? Ooh! Gifting a Subarino to me. Well, thank you, Evan. To those watching, yes, of course, this is due for a spot in the Mountain Dew League. This is relegation for the season. Both these teams making their way through advanced, as every single Mountain Dew League team, at least from last season, ended up losing yesterday. It's almost unprecedented. That has never happened in the history of relegation. But, well, looks like at least the Goliaths, they have to battle it out in the losers bracket. That's what makes it so entertaining in a sense, because you have so many of those teams that were in such a comfortable position just last season. Now they have to fight each other for survival. Massive stuff. Jorge with a double kill on the round, and he's still going to be looking for a little bit more. Huge stuff. But even then, it's going to be Ocean and Sensu still remaining around in that 2v1. No kit laying around, if I'm not mistaken. It was a little bit of a half buy for GGPR in the first place. But even then. And he goes. Quite the spot for Ocean to get that bomb down. And Jorge is hunting. Oof. Here's Ocean and T-Con. That would be his first point of contact. Sensu doesn't have an angle on him. And then around the corner, the Mac 10 is going to be able to overwhelm. So there you go. A 3-0 start for SKDC. Sapphire Kelowna. What is it? Sapphire Kelowna.com. Something like that. Keep forgetting what the DC means, but that's probably the easiest part. It's just .com. Who picked this map? SKDC. Because we have optimal observing and an actual beautiful HUD, you guys can see over on the top left the maps and who they were picked by. As you can see, the little diamond logo there. That's SKDC. They picked out Train. GGPR picking out D2. And of course, the map remaining being Mirage. So this is actually super optimal for GGPR. But Train, in a sense, is not exactly a forte. If anything, it's a rarity for them to even be playing this map. They only played it once in the entire season of Advance, and they played it in the playoffs against SKDC, where they lost 16-14. But in comes a huge retake. Vic on the front line is going to be able to get one. Creed, Exotic, all combining. Now it's just going to be down to Ocean on 1v3. All he has is a Mac 10 to work with, and not only that, but the bomb is right in the middle of sights. Low Rider, Creed, Exotic, well, at least one of them has just around the right amount of util to use. Ocean, that's massive. Huge molly on sight. Now, Ocean, he does get held up. He's down to 5 HP. You would think that molly would be able to take him down. A couple of bullets in, just one of those stray bullets will be able to do it for him. But Ocean's still fighting back. Oh, that was a close one. The main going for the defuse was low on HP too. GGPR surviving by the skin of their teeth. But they're still able to win it out. SKDC, they do have a buyback. In comes a take, a little bit of util used early on by SKDC. Nothing too crazy over towards that A site, just a couple of pop flashes. But even then, it's going to be a light hold for them. Creating the front lines with an easy breezy 2K. Now out comes Ocean. Falls into the crosshairs of Jorge. Now it's a 1-on-5. A Semphis. Can't really do much. Just can only vibe out Semphis, by the way. What a year. 2 years, really, this guy has had. Not in terms of in-game play, but the guy's got gains. I'll tell you that much. I mean, if I were to see Semphis on lane, I think it would just be scared in that kind of sequence alone. Can't imagine GGPR right now. They're facing an absolute Chad. It's been a real while since we've seen Semphis on a tier 2, tier 1 team in CS. Can't wait to see him back, though. He still has that talent, in a sense. Lots of up and rising players, though, on the server. A couple from GGPR, a couple from SKDC. It's funny, we have a mix of boomers and zoomers, really, for both of these teams. Of course, the boomer for GGPR being none other than Lowrider. The old man, the grandpa of the team. SKDC, too. They have 2 leaders, in a sense. Pretty high caliber leaders in Ocean and Semphis. If there are any players that can really take this team and kind of lead them forward, lead them into the next generation of kind of North American CSGO, it would be these 2 guys. So that's why I was actually really hopeful when I saw this lineup come back, because Sapphire Kelowna, they've been around quite a while in CS, actually. But when I saw that this brand kind of come back, and I saw Ocean and Semphis on the roster, then that's kind of just wraps for me. They almost deserve to be in MDL just by that statement in general. But even then, they would have to make their way through GGPR. I mean, like I mentioned before, they've done it before, taking them down on Train earlier on in playoffs, 16-14. GGPR still ended up winning that game, but seeing this pick go by for GGPR, seems like, again, they're not exactly faltering on the pick. Watch out, Lowrider. He's usually the opper of this squad. He's left it to the secondary Exotic for the round. So instead, Lowrider on the front lines over on the top plat peak, and indeed, he's actually going to get a frag off of it, and Exotic is right below him, looking for a couple of players that would want to spill down into ramp. Nice flick by Exotic. Lowrider is here to clean it up. Semphis still trying to make his way around. A nice shot by Semphis. 1v4. As again, with just the pistols, the only thing that this guy can really do is really just take this pick by pick, play by play. Ooh. Semphis looking for a nasty one. Disgusting one, but it's going to be the Young Gun Vic. Really have 2 Young Guns in the server for GGPR, Jorge and Vic. But again, I keep forgetting how old Vic actually is because I think he's very, very young. As much as I joke about that, as much as I say it. If anyone wants to kind of let me know. I don't know, that fact keeps escaping me. It's 15. If I'm not mistaken, the age restriction for MDL is 16. Which might be an issue going forward. It's probably the biggest thing to look out for. If they actually make their way through. Neki, you make a good point in chat. That's why I said, before, this, the SKDC kind of brand, it's been a while. It's been around CS for a while. Stewie 2K, Twist, Stanislaw, Liege, other big names too. I've been around for this organization. It's been a good ride. So to see them still around is still pretty cool. Same thing with Big Frames. It's probably the coolest part. Here we go, ladies and gentlemen. It's actually a big round. We've gone through almost a minute of rambling, but now it's just action where, GGPR, they just hold down the same choke point, and all these players, the only thing that they can really do is run into the crosshairs. It's going to be a 3K for Jorge, Low Rider with a couple of more. Easy peasy. 4th round for GGPR is SKDC. They've been knocked down into the dirt in terms of economy once again. They have to stick to upgraded pistols. I keep forgetting of other names that have played on the team. I know maybe JDM has played on it. Relics even. It's been a weird history for SKDC, I'll be completely honest. They peaked. What, 2015? 2014? Something like that. Speaking of SKDC, they do actually have the bomb down. A couple of Deagles still remaining on this squad. As Yu-Gi-Oh! The only thing this man can really do is chill out. See if anyone would actually approach him, and indeed they do. But GGPR, they escaped the opportunity to restrict the economy of SapphireKelowna.com just a little bit more. But, I don't think GGPR is still too worried about economy. They're stuck up on just about 9K plus each of their players except for Vic. Yet another pause on the server, most likely tactical. Might be technical. This is a big round for SKDC. What I'm surprised, though, with GGPR is that they actually haven't picked up the double ops setup yet. Train can be considered a sniper's paradise type map. You've seen both Exotic and Vic actually getting kills with the AWP. But the CT side has been pretty locked down ever since they broke through that first economic buffer after losing out on the pistol round. Looking at the setup. Ooh, Hiki with a counter op all the way in Ivy. He's able to get a cheeky one onto Vic, but now at this point you still have 3 players for GGPR kind of chilling around that same spot, but Exotic making a little bit of noise off the drop. I think that molly might have landed too high. Indeed it did. So at this point, whoever's up in heaven can potentially make a couple of steps earlier than anticipated. You still have Exotic looking over towards that angle. He takes on a singular bullet, but it's not going to be more than that. The rest of SKDC still chilling around kind of that A barrier. Jorge holding it down in Pop Dog. He will have at least one more player to aim down on, as there's still 3 players in T-Con, and Yu-Gi-Oh! Who's still in B. Can pop down into Pop Dog very soon. 45 seconds left. GGPR. They've opted to split the sites. Green Exotic holding things down. I like the spots for Exotic. Just pure cross in a sense. I would like to see him switch with Creed just for that heaven hold. But the first contact over towards Ivy with 30 seconds left, you would think that it would be an indication that this play would be coming over towards A. The double smokes too. Yeah, that's massive. In they go. You still have Lowrider in a pretty good position. Jorge holding it back over towards T-Con. Semphis is going to have the swing, but the flash comes in, and Lowrider's still alive, and he gets himself 2 for his troubles. Yu-Gi-Oh! Now in a 1v4. 9 seconds left. Bomb is all the way down in Ivy, and it's over. Round for GGPR, and Yu-Gi-Oh! Stay alive. Yeah, indeed he does. 8 seconds left. The handsome face of the player model of Yu-Gi-Oh! More of a face of pain at this point. SKDC, they needed that round. At least to make back a little bit into this half. But even then, they have a bye. It's not that big of an issue. Little bit of util over towards the A site with a smoke and laying in a smoke and E-box, and no way, Lowrider, he gets 2 for his troubles. He had the angle, but he looks, not exactly looks away, but he moves away for a split second. The timing is just awful for him. Lowrider still goes down to the trade, though. Now it's down to the boomers. Ocean and Semphis trying to step up to the plate. Creed takes down Semphis, though. And Ocean with a flash, a molly, an AK, and a hope. Has to clear out a couple of these angles. He does have one person watching over. That's Exotic, and Exotic gonna win out the round for GGPR. So SKDC, a round right after, looked as if they'd come back alive in terms of economy. They've been knocked back down a peg. Won't be able to buy. And most likely, not to say that to cover myself up, but most likely we will be seeing GGPR with an 8th round soon. This round's super easy. Super like laid back in a sense. Reading chat. Mamilos Club showing support all the way from Brazil. Brazil. Tem brasileiro por aí? What's up, boys? For those who don't know, yes, I am Brazilian. I see a Brazilian. I pog. I say hi. What's up? Hope all is well. Lowrider does take one back. Okay. The Deagles are working. Close range. A little bit too aggressive for GGPR. But even then, they're still able to clean it up. Double kill for Vic. Creed with another one at the end. 3 players alive for GGPR. So how about this first setup? GGPR looking real good in terms of economy. I would be kind of without saying. I mean, it would be kind of distraught if I didn't say that this team would be set for cash really for the rest of this half. There's 3 rounds left after this. The fact that they were able to stockpile, and really you have to give it up to what has been a couple of flawless rounds for the team. They haven't needed to reinvest at all. But in comes an actual B take. We haven't seen one of these in a long time. It is actually going to be one trying to make his way around the corner. That's Semphis, but even then, the molly from Sensu takes down Vic. Exotic around the corner, has the lineup, but Ocean takes it back. And not only that, but SapphireKelowna.com, they have the entire site and the round in the palm of their hands. Lowrider has to somehow take it back. Sensu does have the flank on. Lowrider's looking out for a good peek from Lowrider, but Sensu has the angle and an even better shot. That's going to be the round for him. So SKDC still booting on a little bit of damage before the half is over. Still 3 more rounds. They're buying back little by little. Not only that, but their loss bonus is pretty good. Sure, they're not going to be all too affected. GGPR have 2 rounds left on what would be this stockpile of cash. I'm looking around the map. SKDC, they haven't opted to go for like a pure default yet. And I mean that as if, you know, everyone approaching in a sense off their default positions. It's really just been quite stacked up, quite grouped up. Looking at least on the util SKDC, they don't exactly seem all too ready to use that just yet. They have a lot of it, but they can only chip away at these choke points little by little with them. And look at this, the stack up, and Creed is going to take down both. That is wonderful. So just like that, with 30 seconds left, it's going to be a 3-on-5 with 2 players, or at least 1 player over towards TCOM, with 1 making the rotation back over from that back B halls. It's going to be a 3-man lineup for GGPR. Not only that, but there's a man in Ivy looking for the wide swing. Vic is going to be here to try to help out, but a smoke over towards Ivy should be able to help out, but Vic gets the kill. Vic's still looking for a second, but Hiki takes it back. Yu-Gi-Oh with a kill onto Creed, but that's going to be off the molly. In we go. Yu-Gi-Oh last person remaining, 1v3. No time once again. SKDC, they're going to be surviving with only a singular player left. He has no cash, and he's not going to die just yet. He does get a kill back. Watch out for the wide swing, but the time goes up. So Yu-Gi-Oh will be able to survive, but he has no cash to kind of replenish. He has just enough for some util, but GGPR takes the 9th. Looks like SKDC once again, most of their players trying to wrap their way into B exotic. Gotta watch out. Right in the middle of the doorway. Cheeky pop flash out, but that's not gonna leave at least Lowrider away from this back position. It is efficient. Oh, if Lowrider, he was thinking about that smoke. That would be good off the cuff, especially for exotic. That's sitting right under heaven. Right in front of pile up, but even then, Creed pops on out with the AUG. Exotic still waiting. Good check from Sensu. Lowrider with a return frag, but it's already so much damage for SKDC. They will be able to get the bomb down, and not only that, but Hiki, he has the upwards position, takes down Vic. He does get taken out by, well, not taken out, but at least held back by the molly from his own teammate. Jorge still holding down the connector position, takes down 1. Still 1 on site that he has an angle on. They have no idea where Ocean is at the moment. He was looking for something cheeky, but now he's already out of ramp, and he gets spotted out by Jorge. What was that from Ocean? Ocean could have played time just a little bit more, but even then he thought that he had the 2 players in an optimal position. That's just unfortunate, as now GGPR, they take double digits off the first half. That's optimal, to say the least. As again, in the last best of 3 that GGPR faced off against SKDC, that lineup. So with Desi right in the middle. It still is Desi. Just under the name Yu-Gi-Oh! Always throws me off guard with that. But even then. GGPR, they weren't able to take away too many rounds off the CT side on Train, but now this time it's a whole lot more of a cramp. Sensu and Semphis, the last 2 players remaining, over towards Ivy, and they're stuck behind a smoke. You still have a Molly placed up right in front of him. The only thing the Low Rider can do is run away, but with just about a minute left. The util running low. The player's down for SKDC. This is just a tough scenario in general. This Ivy position being watched like a hawk up on his perch. That's going to be Jorge with a kill. And an 11-4 half for GGPR to open things off on Train. That's huge. To run it down again. Lots of, in a sense, lots of hard 1v1s that GGPR were able to isolate themselves in. But even then, I was more near the butt end of things. We're talking about the whole round in general, or the whole half in general. SKDC, they had the right ideas. They had the right plan in terms of takes. But some of these off angles for GGPR just kind of crippling the takes for SKDC was really what made it. SKDC didn't win out too many of the entry duels. And of course, that's really going to affect them, especially with how, I guess you could say, effective retakes are on this map. It's almost too unfortunate, but it is what it is. Dust 2 is our second map. We saw that taken yesterday by GGPR. If I'm not mistaken, that was 16-10. That are 16-8. No, 16-8 against Kinship. And funnily enough, I mean, these 2 teams, they had a very similar pick and ban phase against each other in terms of maps. Dust 2 and Train were the 2 maps that they ended up playing against each other for the first 2 maps. It's almost literally the same sequence of rounds. And the third one is very interchangeable, being Mirage, as they actually faced up on Inferno, 16-10 going towards GGPR. So D2, very much a competent pick for GGPR. As we saw yesterday against the ex-MDL team, at least for now, right? We don't know. Because all those quote-unquote ex-MDL teams, they still have a chance of kind of regaining that notoriety or regaining that title. Which, again, it's quite funny to me that all of those MDL teams that were relegated last season ended up, you know, all losing yesterday. And it might be, you know, kind of just the lack of games, especially that has been, what, I think a month and a half since most of those teams played in officials. Yes, there has been a couple of qualifiers here and there. But even then, it's almost perplexing. All of these rosters getting picked apart in a sense. Kind of thrown around. It's almost unfortunate, especially when you're talking about, like, X-Recon 5. It's not a whole squad. Shoutouts to GSG9, by the way. What a lineup they have. I would be a very, very... again, no bias. No bias. But I would be a very happy boy if GSG9 actually made their way into MDL. Some real good friends of mine on there. Real great people from the community, period. But, ladies and gentlemen, we do have the continuation of our game, the second half fully underway, as we do have Sensu on the front lines over towards Ivy taking down one, and even then, it's just a smattering of kills around the server, 3v2. After the dust settles, Creed and Exotic still heads on a swivel. Multiple targets to actually aim around on. Good double peek, but even then, it's only a singular peek. Creed going to be able to take down Sensu, and Desi goes down in a heap. Ocean, the last person remaining. Creed running out of bullets, and somehow Creed was able to make that one possible. What in the world was that second kill? Good Lord. The round still goes to SKDC. That's another pistol round for them. But damn! Nice tries indeed for Mr. Creed. But even then, it is going to be pistols back for a lot of these players. And SKDC, they invest into SMGs. But Creed, welcome back to the kill count. Able to get another one. Oh boy. Just kind of waiting around at this point. GGPR. They have splits, choke points. 2 players going over towards Ivy. One in Pop Dog at the moment. Yeah, there's not much you can do, especially with a heavily populated A site. It's too much of a landmine. Hello, Hiki. Hiki spots out a target in Jorge, but Jorge still able to survive. There was a player spotted out in Ivy just a little bit earlier, but with a lack of attention towards that area, Lowrider is able to sneak his way in. Nice little spot for Lowrider. He might have been able to actually take advantage of that, but in comes Hiki, actually. Off of that upper position back in B as he makes his way through Pop Dog. Pops one in the head, and that's going to be another round for SKDC. Quick, clean, simple. Only one player going down in the round. Nothing too crazy. Been a fairly lackluster game, but it's going to be rounds like these that we can't actually pick up the tempo. It's make or break, really, for GGPR. They had a lead, and it could just break apart just in one fell swoop. Jorge is able to get a frag back, but in comes the combination. Hiki swings on him with the MP9 and a kill back for Jorge. Exotic with a jump. Gets a massive angle onto Ocean. Just like that is a 3-on-1, but now in comes Desi. He might have spotted out the player going ladder. I don't think he did. Yeah, he definitely didn't. Creed able to get the kill back. Scores 12-6. The score advances for GGPR, but SKDC. Kind of that hard investment into the second round, biting them back in the bud in this round, as they do have at least a little bit of a scrappier buy. And when I mean a little bit, I mean a lot of it. Hiki and Desi on the double op setup. Both glass cannons. Completely glass cannons. Hiki's the only man with util out of the two, as he's able to pick up a smoke. But otherwise, the two are pretty much done and dusted. It's very bold. It's confident. Gotta watch out for the pop dog